Um, so for those of you who don't know, I'm James Wright, and welcome to my shop. No, actually, the weird thing is, camera's not focusing on me. The weird thing is, YouTube is trying to push vertical format. And my lives have really been dying off recently. Very, very few people turn into them, but they're the people I really like. They're the people who are into the wood by Wright. So I'm actually kind of experimenting with something and see, can I do something in a vertical format and reach a different audience? And I don't know. This is something I'm going to try once and it may not. So we're going to do a little Q&A today. If you have questions, throw them in the chat and I will work on them. But I'm actually going to be working on a project in this. So one of the things I was thinking with this is just doing something that, hey, I'm working in the shop. You want to come along? We'll see how it is. So I'm actually working on the medicine cabinet. Hoping to have a video coming out on that this weekend. So yeah, the big impetus for this was I was working on the shorts, and I really don't like vertical format. Honestly, it's just kind of a I don't know. It's annoying, especially from the creator standpoint. I know there's a lot of people who really like it, but I'm not one of those. And my wife might come down a little later. She might not. So this is kind of one of those weird experiments. Um, so I don't really like shorts, but the crazy thing is that they do really, really well. And honestly, I don't make much money on shorts. Shorts make a tiny percentage of what I have, but they allow me to reach new people, and that's the big thing. Is I can my audience has exploded because of shorts. Do you ever find that woodworking? Do you ever find woodworking boring? It's fun, but after a while, it seems to be. Honestly, I. It's a really good question. I love woodworking. I really enjoy it, especially when I can try new things. And do I find it boring? Yeah, there are some things that just get boring, especially anytime I'm using a brace. That work is very boring. Um, Sorry, I'm contractually obligated to say that. Honestly, yeah, there's some things. Face plating, things like that, I find to be kind of boring and kind of slow. Um, but most of the time, what I try and do is find the fun things, the things that really kind of intrigue me. And a lot of times it's doing the same project or the same actual function. I'm making it mortise and tenon again, but I'll be doing it in a different way. I'll try something new. I'll experiment and play with things. And that's what really intrigues me is I experiment with things that I know I'm not going to like doing this. And then I do it and it's like, oh, I actually really enjoy that. Do you do your tenons for, do you do your tails or pins first and trying something new and experimenting with that. So basically what I have here is this frame. We built the carcass and everything on it, and I put all the hardware on, or most of the hardware. I still have a few pieces to put on. Now I'm taking all the hardware off so that I can start doing some of the finish prep on it. A lot of the joinery on these is still very rough, and I haven't done the finish smoothing and cleaning on it. Hello from Ontario, Canada. Hey. Personally, I'm not a fan of vertical format. Yeah, honestly, I'm much the same. But the reason I do it, the reason I do shorts, is I get a very different audience from that, and I'm reaching a lot of younger people, and I'm actually getting that in front of them. And if I can have a different audience that I wouldn't reach otherwise, and usually what happens is people start watching the shorts and they'll watch 3 or 4 and then they'll subscribe or they'll like it, and then YouTube say, oh, they like the shorts. Well, then let me feed them some of the long formats. And that's where the channel has really been growing, is my long formats have been exploding from people who found me through shorts. And so if people are going to find me through shorts, then I think I kind of like that. Do I actually like working on them? Not so much. Do I watch them? Not as much. I prefer a long format with a lot of education. Plus, it's, I don't know, I just like watching the horizontal. This is weird. So I don't know exactly how this is going to work. So yeah, I cut a 5-inch mortise today in white oak. Took about 3.5 hours. 5-inch wide, 5-inch long, 5-inch deep. 5-inch anything with a mortise is big. But that's where boring work really helps out. The bigger the hole you drill, the easier the work is. That was an interesting question. It was one of the first questions that ever got on the channel. I was drilling. I was cutting a 1/4-inch wide mortise that was like 2 inches by 1/4 inch by about 1.5 inches deep, And the guy asked me, why don't you bore that out? The thing is, I would have to drill so many holes, 1/4 inch wide, to go all the way across there, each one only being a little ways deep. It took me longer to drill it. But why did I do that? Because I enjoyed the chopping more than the drilling. I don't like boring. 5-inch deep. Ooh, that is deep. Name a car. I named my first car Bondo. It was a GMC S15, and I named it Bondo because it was like 50% Bondo. 1 inch wide, 5 inches deep. That's a beefy mortise. Yeah, I would definitely be augering most of that out. West Virginia, hey, how's it going? Dennis Miko, howdy. So yeah, yeah, my first vehicle. That was a fun one. So I got my license, and our car insurance guy said, you know, if you get him a cheap beat up junky truck and put your new teenager as the main person on it for the insurance, your insurance will go down. And my dad was like, great. So I had $500 that I saved up. Actually, I think I had $250, and my dad had $500. And I had $250, and my dad had $250, so I had $500 for a new truck. Or something like that. But we had $500. We were gonna put on a truck, and we had a farm auction come up, and they had 2 trucks in the farm auction. The first one was a GMC S15. Everything on it worked, functional truck, and so we were looking at that. And the other one was an S10, but the wheels were in the bed. If I remember correctly, the engine was in the bed too. It was a mess. But that one came up first, and the auction started out, and it ended up going for, I don't remember what it was, but it was something like $700 to $1,000 for this truck with the wheels in the bed. And I'm thinking there's no way we're going to be able to buy the other one, because the other one's up and running and everything's working on it. So the auction started on that one at $500, and no one bid. I'm like, oh, it's starting at $500, and no one would get this. And no one was bidding on it, and the auctioneer said, okay, $300, who will give you? And no one bid, and no one bid. And my dad, standing beside me, yelled out, $50. And the auctioneer looked at him like, you know, that's not how the auction works, but okay, fine. Started at 50. Who will give me 100? Another guy around the circle said 100. And my dad said 125 before the auctioneer could say anything. And the other guy around the circle looked at my dad and said, hey, are you bidding for your boy? And this is a big farm auction. And my dad looked across the other guy and said, yep. And the guy who bid put his hands up and stepped back. And everyone around the circle walked away. Because no one there was going to bid against a boy's first truck. So, yeah, that's how I got my first car. Hit the like button. Thank you, Dennis. I'm making a joiner's mallet. Ah, yes, a joiner's mallet. I'm actually going to be, one of the videos I have coming up, I'm going to be making one of the impossible joiner's mallet, the Lincoln thing. So, yeah. It's getting whiter, so I don't like much. It's getting wider. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading these. The nice thing about the live format on here is the comments stay up, but unfortunately they're on, and I have to get like this close in order to read them. So, yeah, I've got here. Let me show you what I've got on here. So I'm trying to make this a little bit more informal. So I've got the ends on these that are all glued up, and so there's the glue and the schmoo. I need to come in and plane this off all smooth so we can get ready for the finish. So I have to plane these and do the chamfer work on it. But back there, you can see the frame and the mirror that will go in it. But yeah, we're working on that. I lost. It's getting whiter, so I don't like shorts too much. Oh, ha! I got it. He who laughs last usually had to have it explained. Come on, turn. Hey there, hi. Here, let's see. This way, that way. This is where we're working. We should actually check and make sure that this plane is set up. And of course, it isn't set up. I usually put them away set up, but this one I had pulled the blade out for something. And it backed up a long ways. Almost. Now the question is, do I need to sharpen this one? This one is that Zen Woo iron, and it lasts forever. Nope, it's good. See, this one's odd because it's up so high, it's actually in the device. Hey, babe. Hi. How are you? Sarah walked in. I don't know if you can see right there.
Can I see the chat from here?
I have the chat up on this window. Here, let me pull it over for you. Actually, reload that page.
What am I doing? Reloading.
Yeah, just hit the reload on it and it'll pop up. Yeah. Vertical format, isn't it weird? Oh, you can pull this over. So you can see.
Where are you at?
Usually scribe measurements and notes on the back of your hand.
Turtle.
Oh, it's left over from a turtle tattoo. Now you should see Sarah's.
Oh, I have my.
Oh, you got your hoodie on. You're not going to see Sarah's. It's on her shoulder.
Well, I thought I'd get out of my back.
Now we just got back yesterday morning from our vacation, and we had gone on a turtle snorkel. And one of the things there is they give everyone a temporary tattoo, and so I put it on my hand. But my hand's so hairy that it just kind of all peeled off. Just kind of fun because Luke is coming over tomorrow to do all of the shooting, and so I'm gonna have several videos where I'll have that popping up in it. So stay tuned. Okay, almost to it on this one. So I'm just going until I get these down, and I'm actually going. I believe I'm actually going with the grain. It's kind of hard to tell because the blade's actually set up pretty nicely. No, skip. Don't skip. Just got a little bit more to go because I'm not. I'll show you.
Warren says you should have gotten that tattoo on your head.
That would have been a smart idea. Yeah, I'll put it. That would be a good place for it. So I got a little bit of blue left on here from the. Come on, turn. It's not going to do that, is it?
Do you need my help?
Well, if you want to.
Well, all we're seeing is the force.
The force, yes. So I got this blue here. That was the end of the board. And, yeah, you're like 10 seconds behind me. Which is normal.
Excuse me, well, I can't help I have short legs.
My turn. There you go.
So Remy wants to know about joinery for metal furniture.
Joinery for metal furniture? What about it? Sorry.
Your thoughts on using joinery?
Joinery for metal furniture, as in welding? Yeah, I don't know. What you'd be meaning in that? Because anytime I've made it out of metal, it's been welded or bolted or something of that nature. Another question I get all the time is, how do you fight plane tracks with a squared iron? If you're taking a light enough shaving, you're really not going to feel it. But the biggest thing is if you work in white oak, the grain is so deep and so thick that it's not a problem. So I've done this corner from here in. Don't want to go out the other end, otherwise I'm going to blow out those fibers. So I'm going to take this whole thing, flip it around, and then I can go in from the other side, and I always plane towards the middle. But that means if I was planing this way with the grain, this is going to be against the grain. So you need to be very, very careful to make sure it's set up well. What's that?
Spinning
It's spinning?
on our end.
What is spinning?
It's just this, I don't have video of you
Oh.
right now.
I don't know. Is anyone else missing it?
I don't know.
Castle joint would be fun, yeah. Yeah, saying it's live and good. Might just be a connection on this end. Now, what did you mean by metal joinery? Been a minute, yes. We won't have a live, although I might do one something like this next week. We won't have one next week because Sarah's going under the knife. And, what? She's going under the knife. Yes. Tonsils, adenoids, and nasal something or other.
No, that's JJ.
JJ's getting it. You're just getting your tonsils?
Impossible.
What's that?
You popped up on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm kind of experimenting with the vertical format. YouTube is actually they're kind of paying me to do a few vertical formats as they kind of experiment with it. And so the nice thing about it is that this also shows up in the shorts feed as well as the regular feed, and then it also gets onto. No, it doesn't go onto Instagram, is it? Is it showing it's on Instagram? Yeah, I don't know how it would pop up on Instagram because YouTube and Meta are two different things.
No sick.
But it'd be cool.
Maybe because you have them linked. If you post on one, you post on the other.
No, it shouldn't. One more set. No chatter.
Almost like plain into them.
One face.
Okay, so it's weird.
Uh-oh, my bottom's
On
sliding in.
phone, you're stuck in the one. It's like a huge.
Yeah, it's YouTube Live. Live is always fun, especially with this one because I don't know how this is going to go because I'm on my phone. So it's streaming from the phone rather than through the normal system. Yeah, our normal live system is. Let me turn. There we go. So I have several of these then plugged into this thing. And then this sends wires all the way across the room over where Sarah's at into the computer. So this one is just me and my phone. Do we have to wait until April 1st for the 3-hour-long vertical drop? Yes. Yeah, I find this kind of funny because they're putting these live vertical formats in the shorts feed. So hour-long shorts. But yeah, I am still wearing shorts. Of course, we just came back from Hawaii where it was warm there. Okay, this is gonna be a fun one because I gotta do this face, but I can't clamp it in my vise, otherwise it's gonna fall down. And so it's always looking for something fun to do. You can remember correctly. This brings it over. It's like set on top of my saw bench, and I can still clamp it in there. Turn around and do this end first.
There is a general consensus
Of what?
not linking per person.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that it's designed for a different audience. Because the people who normally watch my lives are watching the long format videos, which are the ones that I like, the ones that are, the standard videos, and I like doing that. But the thing with doing like shorts is that I'm getting a different audience. I'm getting people that I wouldn't normally get. And so I'm interested to see the audience I get with this. Because with shorts, my main audience has gone from an average of 35-40 down to an average of 25-30. 8 years old. So it's kind of a surprising thing. But I guess younger people like shorts. Yeah, I'm old and I like shorts. I'm not old yet. 40 is next year. 40
Next
is
year, it's like
a couple months
away.
Yeah, it's February.
Are you not wearing your mic?
No, because I'm on the phone. So that's the other thing with this is I have to do it on my phone, and so because of that, I'm just getting that microphone. So there's no microphone system, and they can't hear you at all because you're on the other side of the room.
I'm not Adele.
Now you're cuter. Yeah, I'm actually rather surprised at the quality of this film. But it's a Pixel. They're phenomenal for that type of thing. Ooh, now I'm going against the grain. So now I have to be careful. So I'm only planing in as far as I have to plane in. I'm just going down until I get through the material I have, until I get smooth surfaces. Boy, this one came out gappy. Let me show you guys this.
I'm not sure because it's a weird format, a 65-inch TV.
Yeah, I bet it is. So here are my through tins. The other side's nice and pretty, but this is the side that's all gappy. And then when I clamped it, my clamp, which I have to fix, the pad on it, it put these little divots in here, so I gotta go plane those out. But thankfully it's on the outside of the carcass, so it's not a huge issue. Just have to actually get rid of them. This way. Oh. Now, this side of the board is against the grain this way. This side of the board looks like with the grain. So I'm gonna have to play this one. Cleaning this all up, because hopefully tomorrow we're going to actually do the finish on it. So, yes, because she has no light in the bathroom right now, as the mirror that I have down here is our bathroom light. And so she's going to look kind of weird tomorrow when she goes into work. So it's normal.
Good thing tomorrow I can have some scrubs.
Yes. Just going to go down a little ways because those are actually pressed in about a 32nd inch. It's going to be several shavings. Which, yeah, it means I'm changing the thickness of the board, but it doesn't matter because nothing references the outside of this. So, no issue at all.
Alright, question for you from Tony.
What's that?
I just knocked up a jewelry style box and being so last minute forgot any sort of lid stay. Any advice on choosing length of a basic stay and how to fit, distance from lid edge, etc.?
A lid on the jewelry box. I don't know. I'd have to see what style it is.
Send a
Yeah, send me some pictures and email. Take a look at it. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. And, I mean, honestly, my favorite way is just gravity. I like it when a lid just sits. You know, something that stops from horizontal movement, but I like it when a lid just gravity holds it. I don't know. I like simplicity. That's what I married her. She keeps things fun.
What did you just say?
I love you, baby. You're really beautiful.
Which meant I should have been paying attention to reading the chat.
I'm going to grab the card scraper. With the card scraper, I can do a little more spot work. What's that, babe?
Someone said love the coffee. Oh, your new coffee mug. I bet that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I see a coffee mug in the frame.
No, I really enjoy those. I like a mug that can actually hold a decent amount of coffee. So just kind of spot cleaning these two divots down. And yes, that means it's going to be slightly thinner at this point, slightly thicker at that point, and that's perfectly fine.
Warren says, when are we going to get the last picture frame video? I'm assuming joinery.
Oh, the joinery window. I was thinking about doing it tonight, but then I decided not to because we just got back from vacation, so I wasn't sure if I'd do it. I thought this would be a great opportunity to do this experiment because I can just turn my phone on and not have to worry about it, not have to plan anything. Plus, Sarah's brain and my brain are kind of like, since the jet lag yesterday. We woke up this morning at 8 and it felt like 4 a.m. to us. And we're a little confused. Yeah, I don't know when, because I got, I think, 2 more videos on that. and then it depends next on how Sarah's surgery goes and how she's feeling. So possibly late this month. We'll see. I don't know.
Probably after Thanksgiving. Well, for the Americans, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the house is over this next week because my son is also getting his tonsils done the day before Sarah. So we're going in for one on Monday and then for Sarah on Tuesday. So it's gonna be a quiet house. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that just means you have to run both of us hand in foot.
Pretty much. I realized I didn't get a run in this morning. I was gonna go out for a run. And didn't actually do it.
You poor thing.
I know.
We got all sorts of people who are scrolling their phones instead of sleeping. We got TK.
Scrolling there.
We got South Africa.
Oh yeah, oh, yes.
Um,
South Africa. That means it's
they're,
6 hours.
I think, well, daylight savings, 7 or 8 hours, I think.
Yeah, so they're ways ahead. It's like what, 4 a.m., 3 a.m.
22 in the UK.
Now, we had an odd time in Hawaii because it was daylight savings times here, but Hawaii doesn't do that. So we went from 5 hours behind to 4 hours behind while we were there. So our jet lag was actually a little easier than it would have been. It was kind of nice. What am I running into? Why am I bouncing? Oh, I got a little glue bump here. Let's get rid of the glue bump. So basically I've got these spots where glue is up a little higher. And if I don't hit those first, then it kind of dives off and the plane doesn't catch until a little farther in. I gotta make sure. There we go. And so after doing this smoothing, I'm going to go over the whole project with the card scraper, and that'll be the last thing before we finish. I'm naturally wanting to skew the plane when I use it, but because this is so wobbly out here, if I do that, I'm getting chatter because it's actually moving this side to side. So I have to turn, make sure I'm going straight on. Then I get that better zippy sound.
So, someone wants to know, are you happy with your basement lighting? I imagine your videography needs to but I'm currently annoyed by my basement shop's lack of natural light.
Yeah, I love. Well, I've got a lot of lighting down here because of videos. And when I build my shop, I am not going to have any windows in the shop. I do not like having windows when shooting video because then the coloring is always changing. If I were building the shop for my own use, natural light to me is 50-50. There's a lot of mystique to it, and honestly, you can simulate it very easily. That's basically what I have down here. There's nothing actually special about having real, actual daylight coming through. Though a lot of people feel that way, and there are some mental aspects to it.
I was like,
But even then, you can duplicate that pretty easily. The one downside to it is the light doesn't actually change, which is great for videos. But the downside to it is that you don't know what time it is. You can very easily get lost in something. Whereas if you have that natural movement of light through the room, there's the natural cues as to what time of day it is.
sure, won't let that be your excuse.
What?
That you get lost in the project that you don't see daylight. Sure.
Now, having come from the theater background, actually I'm going to do these before I finish it. Coming from the theater background, it is, lighting to me is a very different thing than it is to most people because I have spent a while studying it and duplicating it, and Yeah, you don't need daylight, but it is nice. But if I had to build a shop just for shooting, just for working, I would definitely have windows, but I wouldn't have like a whole wall of windows. I would have a few, because windows take up wall space, and the wall space is more valuable for storage. So, yeah, I would have a couple, but I wouldn't have many.
So have you made this Intarsia project?
Intarsia.
Intarsia, Ekascom.
Not in a long time.
What is Intarsia?
Google it, you'll see pictures. It's what's the word? Not marquetry, but well, it is basically a form of market, making pictures out of different types of wood.
This is a knitting technique. Oh, with woodworking,
It's
colors, materials. Oh, it's inlaying.
well, no, it's not exactly inlaying, because it's more like stained glass work with wood. I mean, you can do it, but at a certain thickness, it goes and suddenly it's become marquetry, because marquetry is the inlaying or surface veneering with Intarsia. Dave also, he did a lot of that. I think he still does. People who do a lot of it.
So you're saying you don't have a lot of tips for people?
No, I really, I've done it a few times. I did one video a while ago where I made a cutting board with a turkey inlaid into it. I gave that one to my mother. But there really isn't that much, because it really just comes down to your jigsaw skills. I mean, if you're really wanting to get into it, a good jigsaw is worth its weight in gold, because it's just so valuable. And actually having a good jigsaw setup with good blades saves you so much time. I guess the biggest thing is take your time, be patient, don't rush it. You cutting through it, you're just going to make mistakes and cause problems. Is that Super Chat?
It is.
I didn't realize Super Chats worked on vertical format.
Well,
What do you know?
all learning.
Whoa! Yuck. That's all against the grain. So, what was the Super Chat?
A coffee mug. Not cocoa mug.
Sarah's Cocoa Fund?
Okay.
Or is it turning into your vacation Boba Tea Fund?
Yeah.
So, got a lot of rough tear out on that. Which just means I have to spend a little bit more time cutting down in.
You ready?
Yeah. What you got?
Did you hear about the guy who got 100% discount on his plastic surgery?
What?
The look on his face was priceless.
Yeah.
I have not for some reason. I'll have to look for them while I'm recovering from surgery.
Yeah, at the end here, I don't want to blow out these fibers. I want to break those off on the pins. So right before I get there, I'm just lifting up and letting it rise out of the wood. The goal is to do it right at the end. Woo, this is up a little higher than I normally like, but that'll do. I'm just taking it down to the point where I'm getting everything flat and smooth and clean and most of the material off. And then I'm going to come through with a card scraper probably after the live and do up all these pieces.
Here's Sarah. Yes, I know.
She's on the other side of the
I mean,
room.
I guess I could read the.
Yeah, you can come over here.
There. Not that I look anything.
Well, I've got this screen up here too.
You could show them that I should have cleaned this off today.
There you
Wait, should I bring my chair over? I'll bring.
Yeah, do that.
Or is this?
Stool's back here. Here you go. New format experimentation. It's fun, isn't it?
Look, they're not even gonna notice a height difference when I sit on the stool.
Here, let me back
Maybe
up
I'll
a
get
bit.
taller. They don't need to see me. I just
Yeah,
try
geez.
to make it so they can hear me. Oh no, don't, no. Whoa, that screen is.
You tip it.
Thank you. Y'all, he was like, you don't need to calm down, except I heard him struggling with your questions.
Everything's better with Sarah.
So hopefully y'all can hear now. We can't see Sarah over the bench. Ha ha.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, stand up for a second. There is an actual slight height difference between the two of us. And see, she's only like that much shorter than me.
But don't, no. We need to stand closer together. Because it's more drastic than that.
It's, when you say head and shoulders.
He's definitely not referring to shampoo. Oy.
Everyone always told her she'd marry a short guy. And then she responded with, what'd you tell me?
Dear, what
Who's
did
going
I
to reach the top shelf?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that a lot of people don't quite see is that with shorts and with lives, I'm not doing them for money because lives make almost nothing. I mean, I might make, with lives, I might make, $60 a month. And with shorts, those I get, well, now they're up a little more. When I started, they were like 5 cents per 1,000 views, whereas now it's like 9 cents per 1,000 views, which is.
I mean, we're not complaining.
It's not
Y'all
bad.
keep watching.
But I mean, if you compare that to the long format videos, those I might make somewhere between $6 and $8 per 1,000 views. So, yeah, the long formats are where the money is. The shorts are there so that I can get new audience. I meet new people and I reach out to different people because they're not the. You don't find as many people through the long format videos, but through the shorts you can find a lot more people.
There's the doom scrollers like me.
Yes, the people who lay in bed at night.
All right, Gary has a question.
What's that?
So if one were to have put total boat penetrating epoxy on a piece of wood, what is the next step after it dries? Do you plane it down?
Yeah, once it's, penetrating means it's going to go in a little ways, but it's not going to go in very far. So usually you want it to be very, very close to its final dimension. So if I want a 3/4 inch board, I'm going to leave it just a hair over, just, a couple hundredths of an inch over. So that once it is, once the epoxy on the surface is finished, then I'm going to hit it with a card scraper and just do the final bit. Like, I'm going to take it down to about this finish here, the last little bit before the plane. I mean, I'm not doing a perfectly clean, smooth finish on this. I'm getting a little bit of plane tracks or a little bit of roughness still here and there, maybe some micro tear out. And that's where I put on the penetrating finish, the penetrating oil, or epoxy, there's the word. And then be able to come back and detail it out. Do that last little bit before the actual finish.
Okay, Dr. Khan's asking the important questions, which is, have you seen Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 and any good? Yes. And
Yes. And yes.
And we want to see it again.
For those of you who don't know, Big Fat Greek Wedding 1 was our dating relationship. Because her family are Scottish and her father's family's Italian. But if you didn't know any better, you'd say they're Greek. It's so Greek. They didn't cook the lamb in the
family.
They didn't cook lamb in the front yard. They cooked it in the backyard. Literally.
And then you have to know James's immediate family, and they're very much.
Yeah, my family's very quiet, very relaxed, and I mean, not relaxed. They have their own high-strung reasons, but yeah. And then you go over to her family, and it's like everyone used to get together for coffee on Friday and go to the farm. And when I mean the family, I mean like all of her aunts and uncles, all of her cousins, the whole family got together. Because almost all of her family lives within a 5-mile radius.
Good old farming family.
Yeah. And so that was right with us. And then 2 came out, and 2 is very much where we were at with having the kids, and so yeah, 3 was very, very good. We enjoyed it. We didn't go back and see it the same time. We haven't had
No,
time to.
we'll probably purchase it.
Oh yeah, we will.
So Joe super chatted and says, "Merry Christmas. Gotta make something tonight."
Well, thanks, Joe.
Okay. What do you call it when cowboys would hang a lantern on their saddles at night so they could find the trail when they were far from home?
What?
Early satellite navigation.
Uh,
I feel like I need to do it. See if I can find another one. Let's see. What do we got? Any other good ones? Why did no one laugh at the joke about the faulty guillotine?
what?
Poor execution.
Uh,
I like that one. Doesn't take much apparently to entertain me. When jet lag.
That's why I married her.
Alright.
Just doing light chamfers on everything. Oh, these are fun right here because I've got. How do you chamfer the pins? Because if you go this way, you're going to get tear out on those, but you'll be good on this. You go this way, you'll get tear out on those. And so I actually just go straight across. I don't go out the other side, but I'll do like 3 strokes from this side, and then I'll come over to this side and do 3 strokes this way. And then the splinter out you do get is very light, so I just kind of rub it off, and that gets me what I want.
Tony, he will look for your jewelry blocks pics after the live.
I've made a couple, but that's not Sarah's thing.
Jewelry box?
Jewelry boxes.
I need something
Yeah,
for the
she's got
necklaces.
jewelry.
Wait, how'd that go again?
Jewelry.
You make me sound like...
The jewelry baron.
I wear a lot of big earrings, and I like necklaces. And necklaces get tangled if they don't hang. Anyways, where is your chamfering plane from Reed?
I will do that if I'm making big chamfers, or if I'm making a lot of chamfers.
You need the little cute squirrel tail.
Yeah.
Or the, what's that other one that you got from Bridge City Tools?
The Bridge City mini block thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for general breaking the edge, or where I'm not making any solid chamfer, it's just easier to do that. This, if I'm doing a lot of chamfers, I will pull it out. I did actually earlier today. I was making the shelves for it, and these are a pretty decent chamfer on all corners. And so I pulled it out for all those because I'm doing a whole bunch of them. And for something like this one, doing just a little more than breaking the edge. Just want something I can slide my hand on without it cutting me.
Hello, Alan. Thank you for joining us. Yes, we enjoyed being back in Hawaii.
Yes.
We will have to try a different island next time, though.
Yes. Next time it'll probably be I wanted to do the Big Island this time. But it was... I couldn't quite get it. I was able to get Hawaii this time and actually take the kids there because I had enough points for flight. So I did our flight and all 3 hotels for the 6 of us, all on points. So that's the only way you could do Hawaii. I also do a lot of the, one of my hobbies is credit card points. I'm always maxing credit cards to get all the points I can.
Maximize.
Maximize.
Not max. 2 very different things.
Yeah, especially when talking about credit cards.
Okay, let's see. Jill wants to know, Have you tried the Woodpecker's Easy Edge Plane?
I have played with it. I don't like it. I mean, it works great, and if I were doing power tools, that would be a great thing to have. The problem with it is it's a. I didn't do this end. I didn't play this. I played in this one. I didn't do this end.
Well, how dare you?
Yeah, it's a one-trick pony, and I don't know. This does the exact same thing. You can pick these up for pennies. I mean, I've been given so many of them. Every time I take my kids to one of the meets, there's always someone with a box of block planes, and they're handing them out to the kids. So that's just my take on it.
So you're saying woodworking blocking is a little different than having a writer's block?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Name a car for a edit.
A car
A car.
for
I don't know, it says for an edit. I just was reading it.
for a edit. Sorry, man, don't know what you mean.
Corvette.
Oh, see, originally you mentioned cars, and I would start talking about Bondo.
Oh, so Tony's making a box for a potion set for a Harry Potter lover.
Oh, that sounds like
That's
fun.
why it's not technically a jewelry.
Yeah. That sounds like a fun time. I've done a few wands over the years. What did I say?
I was just had a mom joke in my head.
You comment about the car thing?
No. Bucket of chicken. You have a blue shocked face.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a lot of new people in here. Usually we have
Hello.
no more than like 60 to 80 people. We've got 230 on here. So that's the thing about the vertical format. Is it reaches far more people. So I'm just trying to clean this up. And your hand is the best thing for this. I'm always running it over, and I'm wary of corners. I'm not trying to splinter myself. And if I do, I'm feeling edgy and get a lot of people worried about splinters. Actually, I'm gonna make this one a little bit more of a crash over. Just doing 3 passes, about 1/100 of an inch each.
So did you tell them the real reason why you made this?
So our master bath has one sink and about an 18-inch by 18-inch triangle that everything fits in. And I don't use that much space. I don't use it. I use the corner that is literally tucked behind the faucet that fits my toothbrush and my beard trimmer and also Sarah's toothbrush and her toothpaste. And the rest of it is hers. So I want a place to put things so that maybe like a quarter of it could get off the counter. Maybe.
Hey, I've maximized what I have available. We do have a storage thing over the toilet because there's nowhere else to store anything in there.
Our master bath is the floor space is about 4 foot by 4 foot, and it's got a shower, a toilet, and a sink. So it's a well maximized space. It's the type of thing where you can't turn around and sneeze without blowing through a wall.
It's like Henry says, "Whoa, vertical! It's like you're in my house."
That's the experimentation.
Breaking and entering.
So I'll probably be doing a few vertical lives, maybe not like the regular hour-long ones, but I want to experiment with it and see. Oh, my 3D printer is beeping. Gotta change the color on it. We're making things for Sarah's work.
It's time for Christmas ornaments. I don't think it's a surprise for anyone who's worked in my department for more than a year now. Let's see. I know his shirt is very forceful.
I get the question all the time, where do I get all these shirts from? And most of them are family gifts. Most of them I think come from Amazon.
Amazon. Mm-hmm. Let's see. How often do you go out for a run these days, and do you still race? We had a very exciting marathon here in NYC the other day.
Yeah, you did. I try to run 3 to 4 times a week. I haven't done much recently because of vacation. My daughter and I both do a good bit. She is. I don't do as much at the ultras anymore because I'm training with her. Although she's saying she wants to do an ultra this year, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm usually running 3 to 4 times a week. I am not a fast runner by any means. I am very much geared towards ultra running. And ultra running is kind of a misnomer, unless you are really, really into it. A 15-minute mile is actually a really good, solid pace. So we often refer to ultra running as stumbling in the woods looking for an all-you-can-eat buffet. Because you get to an aid station, and it's not uncommon to stay in an aid station for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Still be on track time-wise. And the aid stations serve, pancakes and sausages and lasagna and pizza and food, because you're burning crazy amounts of calories. I mean, I did 100K where I burnt, according to my Garmin, it was, I want to say it was like 19,000 calories in a day, which is just bonkers. But yeah, it's not uncommon to do a calorie deficit while still eating incredible amounts of food. But I'll also do like 120,000 steps a day doing that. But yeah, I haven't done much of that recently. My daughter and I have been doing more of the shorter distance races locally. We have a thing here called the Circuit, which is our local club. There's a bunch of standards that races have to live up to, certification and race type and how they're handled and age brackets and things like that. And as long as the races meet that, then we advertise them to the club and they become circuit race. And so the club, a lot of them are trying to get as many circuit races as they possibly can because we have awards for how many circuit races you do and how you place in those circuit races. So my daughter and I do a lot of that. So most of them are. Oh, my shoe just cracked. Oh, look at that! I got a crack in my shoe. Actually, it happens about once a year or so, where one of them cracks. And so what I do is I spread it out a little ways, put a screwdriver in there, hold it, and load it with epoxy and let it squeeze back together. I need this one. I think we're going to wrap it up here in just a couple minutes, so if anyone has any last minute questions. Things I should try for the next Vertical Live, which I have no idea what will be. Yeah, it's been an interesting experiment. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing the stats and seeing what YouTube says about it. I'm using a rabbited block plane so that I can plunge in at the corner.
So when will this video on the medicine cabinet go live?
Well, I have the first 3 of them are out. The 4th episode that will take us up to this probably won't be this weekend, but hopefully next weekend. And then I'll have one more video that will be all of the finishing, what I'm doing here, on all the way to hanging it. And then probably sometime around Christmas we'll do the compilation video that is the whole thing in one. Because a lot of people don't like to watch it in parts. So I'll put it all together in one video and go through on that. So I don't know exactly when that'll be.
So Benjamin wants to know, would you make a guitar or bass with hand tools?
Not with hand tools. Although it is on my list. I want to make a 12-string guitar. Not to play it, just to make it. It's kind of fun. Though I'll probably at some point make a guitar. I've always wanted to learn to play it. So it might be worth jumping into and putting a couple years practice in. But we'll see.
How did you get that thing?
About a year ago. When Jeff started making the fine adjusters, which are the Howard adjusters in the back. No, and I really thought I would love this thing because it's a the Lee Nielsen rabbited block plane. I always wanted one, and it's really kind of cool because this is the one that I usually use, which is a cheap one that I got that was a rusted hunk of junk when I got it. And I really thought it'd be cool, but I really don't use it that often. The only times when I really do is when I want to do a plunged in right around here. Just not taking heavy enough shape is what I want.
So, Alan super chatted. Hi, Island Gnome Princess.
Yes.
I think I said that one. Okay, I gotta go through my jokes.
Yeah, this will be fun because this cabinet has a lit mirror with the lighting in it, a heated mirror, and all of that has to be on a hinged door. So I'm going to be fun figuring out that electrical.
Right, ready?
Yes.
What's a superhero's favorite holiday destination?
What?
Cape Town.
Huh?
But not
No cat.
Ednamo.
No cat. That's Sarah's alter ego is Edna.
I do need to do that one year for Halloween.
Knock him. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta move this around and do a few other things on it. But yeah, thought this would be kind of an interesting idea just to do a completely informal, have some fun, hang out in the shop. And for those of you who are patrons or members, I actually do a live video when Luke comes over and we're working in the shop for 3 or 4 hours. So if you are a patron or a member, stay tuned. You'll see links for that tomorrow morning. We start around 8 Central Time, so yeah. Let me know your thoughts on the vertical format. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Let's see this. Where is that? Here it is. There's the button.